Introduced in the spring of 1986, Acura sprang into the American market as the first Japanese premium brand, and it had a 3-year head start on future rivals Infiniti and Lexus. In the early days of Honda's premium division, the Acura Legend and Integra proved to be some of the best front-wheel driving cars of their time and proved that rear-wheel drive isn't required for fun performance vehicles. As the market evolved past coupes and sedans, Acura did as well. The MDX was introduced in 2001. It has lasted 4 generations and has a new Type S variant and is still the king and best-selling 3-row luxury crossover of all time. The small brother of the MDX, the RDX crossover, entered in 2007. It has lasted 3 generations and is now the best-selling model for the brand in today's crossover-hungry market. So what is next for Acura? The market is going through another radical change like it went through with crossovers, but this time through electrification. So today we're going to take out our crystal ball, look into the future, and see what's coming for Acura up to 2025. If you're new to the channel, my name's Kirk. I talk about Japanese and Korean cars, new vehicles mainly, but every once in a while I'll talk about the history, kind of like opening up today's video. I also love thinking about what's coming for these brands because the market is always changing. Far from set in stone. If you missed last night's live stream, we talked about how battery electric vehicles are a part of the future, but are not the only part of the future for personal mobility. So today we're looking at Acura and we're going to start with this year in 2022. What has Acura done? What is coming this year, if there's anything left, and what is looming in the future years up until 2025. So we have the new Integra, and I just reviewed it. I also went to the reveal and drive. Actually, I didn't go to the reveal, but I went to the media first drive. I had COVID for the reveal. Bummer, right? Anyways, for the media first drive, that was in Austin, Texas. Had a hell of a time driving that vehicle in those rolling hills outside of Austin. There's a CVT transmission, but for me, it's an easy recommendation to go for that 6-speed manual on that new Integra, the 1.5 turbo, around 200 horse. Some people are saying Acura is lowballing that number. Some are saying it's around 230 horse to the wheels. The Integra, just like the original Integras back in the day, it's front-wheel drive, it's fun to drive, it's well built, it's going to be reliable. And that's what a lot of people are looking for. And it looks sick. It is by far the best looking Acura. Well, I wouldn't say by far. I think the new MDX looks great too. Also in 2022, I think it was revealed in like January, somewhere around there, the new RDX refresh. And it looks like a shrunken down mini MDX. Like I said, the MDX looks amazing. So now the RDX looks nearly just as good as the MDX, so that's a good thing. But is there anything left for Acura this year? Well, they just revealed a new racing concept, so they will reveal that without camouflage. We might have some new design languages coming out. I don't want to say anything more than that, other than we will hear more from Acura before the year's over. All right, now we look into 2023. What is coming for Acura next year? Well, if the Type R just got revealed, which I was at the reveal for the Type R in LA with a Honda Jet and just in like a hangar. It was an amazing experience. Saw lots of old Honda Civics as well. But all of Acura's press representatives were there as well. Right? Why would they be there for a Civic reveal? Well, I know Acura and Honda are based in, LA area. So I guess maybe that's why they're there, but maybe they're there because they could be bringing in a precursor of the Integra Type S. And the Integra Type S should be coming by the end of 2023 is my expectation. And look, the Type R it came out year after the base Civic. It would only make sense that the Type S comes out a year after the base Integra. Now, we also could be getting a refresh of the TLX Type S, well, and the normal TLX for that matter. So maybe they redo the front end a little bit. It's already a great looking sedan. Acura's new designs are really good overall. So I don't think they need to change a whole lot. But the new Integra does look better than the TLX, and the TLX hasn't been on the market that long. So if we can get some updated front headlights to look as aggressive as the Integras, if we can get a bezel-less front grille, I think that would do a lot to make the TLX look even better. And of course, that sort of attention will be brought to the Type S 355 horsepower turbo V6 variant. And the Type S was the first vehicle for the TLX, I should say, that I was invited to for a press event. So that was amazing, driving the TLX Type S on Laguna Seca. It was just a dream come true on so many different levels. It's one of my favorite racing tracks. And yeah, I mean, I'm living my dream thanks to you guys. And before we get into 2024, you have to keep in mind, we only have like 2 model updates per year. And the reason is Acura is just a small brand. They only have 4 models, MDX, RDX, Integra, and TLX. We have no RLX anymore, the flagship sedan, aka the Legend. That's also been canceled as a Legend in Japan. As we look into 2024, I think Acura could benefit from having a small compact crossover sitting underneath the RDX. The RDX is still a big crossover with tons of interior cargo space. So if they, I mean, Acura's also trademarked the ADX. So we don't know if the ADX is going to be the upcoming EV we'll talk about here shortly, or if it's maybe a new crossover to flesh out their crossover lineup. The more crossovers, the better, and the subcompact crossover market is doing well. If we look at the new HR-V, it's a really good vehicle, and it's building on the growing success of the outgoing HR-V. So if they're able to make an Acura version of the HR-V here stateside, I think it would help their brand sales for sure, and just have them a better, well-rounded lineup. Now, we will be getting a refresh it'll be a 2025 model year, but it will happen in 2024 for the MDX and MDX Type S. So that would be pretty cool. It's already a stunning looking vehicle. So I'm excited to see how they can make it look better. I think we might get some hints before this year is over where Acura might be taking some designs, but I can't say anything more than that. Acura EV, this is a huge portion of the future of Acura. So I want to go to the notes here before we get into this Acura EV. So there will be over 50% of EV sales for Acura by 2030. In 2025, we have an e-architecture coming that is Honda's own architecture that no one else shares with them. And that should be built globally. So we don't have any Acuras coming from Japan, right? It's been a long time. So all that will be built here in North America. This Acura EV here is a reimagination of the Cadillac Lyriq built in Spring Hill, Tennessee. There will be 30,000 of these vehicles per year. All the Lyriqs are sold out. I want to go over to this spreadsheet real quick so we can take a look at the powertrains that this vehicle will have. The Lyriq is sold out for 2022, possibly even for 2023 at this point. They're taking orders for the 2024 model year possibly. So Acura will be coming out with their version probably by the end of 2023 or 2024. In this timeline, I have it as 2024, but it actually could come out sooner. So, all right, let's talk about this vehicle. Base is going to be rear-wheel drive. Isn't that crazy? An Acura rear-wheel drive, other than the NSX, there hasn't been such of a creature. Honda and Acura just never went rear-wheel drive with the brand. They stuck with front-wheel drive. Well, EVs could change that indefinitely, right? So we have the Lyriq, which is, who knows what this is going to be called. The ZDX would be cool if they revived that name. Rest in peace, ZDX. No one bought you. You were overly expensive. Looked cool, but yes, before your time. 340 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque going to those rear wheels, 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. We have a 100 kilowatt-hour battery, and we have over 310 miles of range on this thing. I don't expect the Acura one to differ with these base specs at all. It'll look different, and it'll have different design on the inside and outside, but that's about it. Starting price is about $63K for this Lyriq / Acura, so it's not going to be a cheap vehicle. And I mean, if the MDX Type S is the flagship of the brand, this is going to supplant it, you would think. Now, it doesn't stop there, because You add an additional motor to this vehicle and you get an extra 160 horsepower. It gives us 500 horse, 477 pound-feet of torque. You know, it doesn't get the vehicle to 60 that much quicker. I'm expecting around 4.5 seconds. It uses the same battery and your range gets tarnished. But luckily, it's not that much more expensive than the rear-wheel drive model. So that's the saving grace of this model, because this is already really high performing. 5.5 seconds. Who needs to go 0 to 60 in a large two-row crossover faster than 5.5 seconds? I guess if you're buying Lexus, you want to have that performance, and that's when this 500 horsepower variant comes in. And that's when I think Acura names it the Type S. So whatever they name this car, let's say ZDX Type S, this will be the all-wheel drive 500 horsepower version. I've already showed you guys some B-roll for the Lyriq, but I just wanted to kind of walk through with you guys as well. The Lyriq is a pretty handsome SUV. I think Cadillac's done a good job here with this. And this is kind of a preview of GM and Honda's collaboration. They'll be building EVs together. The Honda Prologue will be built in Mexico alongside of the Blazer EV. And this will be built alongside of the Cadillac Lyriq inside of the Spring Hill, Tennessee factory. There already been plenty of journalists driving that, but since I don't cover Catalyst, I don't cover Cadillac, it's not a priority for me to cover them on the channel. But now that GM and Honda / Cadillac and Acura are more intertwined than ever for the next 5 years or so, it makes sense that I cover Cadillac a little bit here and there as well. And it's a cool vehicle, and I'm excited to see what the Acura version has for us in store. Some of the things I'm most excited for on this vehicle is just base Android Auto software, that you can have Google Maps. You don't have to plug your phone in at all. But it does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto if you prefer. So it reminds me a little bit of the Polestar 2 that I drove that has the built-in Google Automotive software. So it'll be fantastic, and it's not going to have the True Touch interface, thank God, that Acura is renowned for. It used to be Lexus and the remote touchpad, but Acura took it to another level with 2 separate touchpads, one for side scrolling on the side portion of the screen. Anyways, I'm not going to get into it. It's not intuitive, even though Acura thinks it is. Anyways, let's look into 2025. We will be getting a redesign of the RDX, and this is exciting. Who knows what kind of powertrain it has? There were reports that Automotive News was saying that the Integra is the last gas model that will be brand new for the brand. So all new models coming out after the Integra are gas, but they revised that article, and that I can't find those quotes anywhere. So other than other publications quoting Automotive News who changed the article. Anyways, RDX I don't expect to be electric. I don't expect to be hybrid, because Acura is not going hybrid at all. They're skipping that altogether, and hybrids are going to be more for the Honda lineup. So definitely stay tuned, because Honda is something I will be covering probably next for taking a peek into the crystal ball, because I'm covering Acura. Honda will be one of those brands I'm covering, as well as all the Japanese and Korean cars. So this is almost going to be like a mini series of what's coming for these brands by 2025. So definitely make sure you're subscribed, hit that bell icon so you don't miss my upcoming videos on every single manufacturer here in the United States, Japanese and Korean. And I think it's safe to say that the RDX will keep its 2-liter and have the 10-speed automatic transmission. So that makes sense to me. We'll have about 280 horsepower, close to what we have now, and there should be a Type S version, but it's not going to have that much power unless they put the 3-liter turbo in there, which is a possibility. And that would be the bee's knees, because to me, when I think RDX, I think of it as the crossover sized version of the TLX. So if the base engine is a 2-liter turbo, that means the Type S hopefully gets the 3-liter V6 turbo. And my understanding is that the current RDX just can't support that engine. It needs a redesign on a new platform in order to handle that 355 horsepower. All right, so also in 2025, can you believe it? The Integra will be getting a refresh. So that's pretty wild, but it is in 3 years from now. So 3 years, there's always a refresh most of the time. So like I said, take it with a grain of salt, and we'll also be getting a refresh on the Type S. We should also be getting possibly that Acura EV Type S if they want to have rear wheel drive for the inaugural year of this EV, and then a Type S version coming the year after. That makes sense to me. And after 2025, things get very, very muddy and very hard to figure out. I don't even know if Acura knows entirely, because electrification is still being worked on. Their architecture is still being worked on. I think what also could happen is they continue this GM Ultium platform, but with another vehicle. Of course, we're going to have the Lyric Acura, whatever it's going to be called, but we're going to have a small one as well. I'm theorizing on this, and this is probably in 2026, 2027. So we're looking way out. But there will also be a small Honda EV teaming up with General Motors. It would be completely foolish if Acura didn't have a small EV, affordable EV, let's say starting around the low to mid 30s for the brand, instead of this, just to complement this Acura EV that's going to be in the 60s to 70s that is based off the Lyric. So to have an affordable one would be excellent, to just flesh out their lineup. And then you might be thinking, Kirk, what about the NSX? Well, the NSX will be coming as well. We have kind of like a drape image of a Honda's already teased this vehicle with a drapery over it. So it's coming. We just don't know anything about it. It will be fully battery electric though. So that's about it. Anyways, I'm going to end it there. Do you think Acura is going to be better than ever? I think they're more promising than they have been in a long time. I love their designs. Their models also drive great. Electrification is a big unknown for them. We know they've canceled all their hybrids, including the NSX, so they'll be going fully battery electric. And we know that Honda has engineering and design expertise to make their future EVs really, really good. So anyways, what are you most excited about for Acura? Is it their EVs? Is it their Type S of the Integra? That's what I'm probably most excited about, at least in the near term. But I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and haven't hit the like button yet, go ahead and do that. And if you're not subscribed by the end of this video, make sure you are, so you do not miss my Honda coverage as we peek into the crystal ball for Honda in the upcoming years as well as all the Japanese Korean automakers. Catching the next one. Thank you so much for watching.